Yeah, we should be live now, yes.
Good. The lightning here is okay, huh? Yeah. Oops. Okay. We have some interesting.
I don't see it live. Wow, yes. Now I see it.
It's a bit delay one.
We should be live now.
Yeah, saw it.
Good.
I don't see it live. Wow, yes. Now I see it.
It's a bit delay one.
We should be live now.
Oops.
Yeah, saw it. I don't see it live. Wow, yes. Now I see it.
It's a bit delay one.
We should be live now.
Yeah, saw it.
Dr. Mabel and Dr. Chong, if you all have the Facebook on the other side, probably you all have to mute it because and then we are here.
Mute it.
Yeah.
Yeah, or else you'll be echoing.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Now he's here. Go. Interesting to see Dr. Rauhi back again.
Dr. Ruhi is Dr. Chong's PhD student, is it?
Yeah. He's now in UAE, Al Ain. That is what I was made to learn. There's Dubai and there's Al Ain. Previously, I only know Dubai. Okay.
Okay, good morning to all our viewers, to those who are viewing us right now. Today's agenda will be about the blended learning. Hence, if y'all have any comments, y'all may drop the comment, any questions, y'all may actually drop the questions in the comment section, or alternatively, you may WhatsApp us at 0113-530-8837. Stay with us, stay tuned with us until 11, and we will start the forum at sharp 10, yeah? And good morning, Dr. Ruhi.
Dr. Rohi is actually in the blended learning, and he knows a lot of technology things. Maybe we can ask him to comment.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I hope I don't scare him and run away. But he has been working with me some time back then, using a lot of technologies, trying to promote that blended learning via technologies some time back. So he is one of the person that I know that he is now exploring 3D printing, which is over my top of my head. 3D printing. He can share actually if he wanted to. We can encourage him to share. And now it's like 10 o'clock. It should be about 6 or 7 o'clock at this time.
PM?
Morning. He's
Morning.
Few hours behind us.
Behind.
In between us and UK. I think it's about 3-4 hours behind time.
He
Don't
just
tell
come.
my
Yeah. It's good.
So we all have virtual backgrounds, yeah.
Yes. Let me see. Oh, it's now in 6 a.m. Wow.
Roshini, actually we are in office now.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I think
I'm
Wednesday
out,
will be my turn.
I'm outside office. In car park.
It's virtual, I can see that.
Yeah. It's interesting. Actually, I wanted to come back. Actually, I do plan to come back actually today, but then it just happened that okay, it's just like today.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay, let me try to share my Facebook. And, share now. Yeah.
One more minute and then we go live.
Yeah, live, but
I mean, sorry, we start the forum.
Okay.
Okay, good morning, everybody, to all dear viewers. I'm Roshni, your live forum host for today. And our topic for today is blended learning. I'm sure some of y'all have already gone back to work. We have, and I hope we are all still staying safe and practicing all necessaries. So, good morning to everyone. And let me introduce to y'all our speaker today. First, we have our CEO from UCSI College, Dr. Mabel Tan. Good morning, Doctor.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Roshini, nice to see you.
Thank you. And Dr. Chong, our Vice President of Academic Affairs, UCSI College. Good morning, Dr. Chong.
Good morning, everybody. Dr. Mabel and Roshini. Good morning.
Good
and
morning.
Ken at the background.
Yeah, good morning, Ken. All right. So today, our agenda, we are going to talk about blended learning. Now, not only me, I think parents who have come to me, students have come to me, some of them have told me their concerns about blended learning. So today, we are here to help you with it, to address your problems and your concerns about blended learning and how UCSI College is using blended learning as a way forward for all students. And with that, I would like to request for all dear viewers, if you have any questions regarding blended learning, please put your questions in the comment section below and we get our speakers to answer you all today. All right, and please like and share our page, UCSI College. Alternatively, you may WhatsApp us at 0113-530-8837. All right, now we'll have Dr. Chong to speak to us about blended learning. And so, Dr. Chong, you have the floor.
Thanks. Thank you. I think it's more towards sharing of whatever I have learned about blended learning Then let me share some of my slides that I have prepared through
Sure, sure.
share screen here. Hold on. Yep. If you can see, blended learning is basically getting technologies and normal human being in the day-to-day classroom blended together. That is essentially what is blended learning is all about. Maybe the words blended learning is overused over time, and people will get it a little bit confused. Is it a new way of teaching or what? It's like it has been discussed a long time, and somehow people have been practicing it to a certain extent, whether it's 10% blended, 20% blended. When I say 10 or 20%, perhaps during the classroom, there is a little bit of combinations of a technology within the classroom setting. Yeah.
Yes.
That is how the words blended learning has come about. So from this particular screen that you can see, the blended way is like maybe 25% blended, or it should be 50% blended or 70%. So there's a lot of discussion on this area. So before COVID-19, I think we are somehow using technology in our teaching, either through the platform called course networking, and to a certain extent we have our LMS, our YouTube as well. Some lecturers use YouTube and ask students to look into material, and we have ebooks, and then we also have e-journals and e-articles. All these are somehow of a technology that used in today's modern world teaching. But somehow I want to think sometimes a little bit backward. It's like blended learning. If I want to go all the way back, maybe 100 years ago, if I use the word blended learning, maybe it's about without textbook versus textbooks. Previously learning, we learned without textbook, long time ago, and then somebody created textbook, and then wow, now we have textbook, and we put it into a format of a book, and ask students to go home and read, and then we created questions, preset question, all these. That is very primitive way of so-called blended learning, I was supposed. And then moving forward now is human and technology. Blended learning that we are talking about.
Yeah, so I think that blended learning actually is a integration of both face-to-face, the traditional face-to-face instruction, as well as the technology, which Dr. Chong was mentioning. So it's both face-to-face and technology. It could be 50-50, it could be different type of percentages, but yeah, it is these two together.
So as you look at it in the context of blended learning, as we are speaking now in the contemporary situation, if you look at the wording over here at the side, it says that, well, let me do some wonder on technologies. Okay, going blended is about more than just technology. It's about rethinking instruction and effectively managing innovations over time. I'll say that.
Dr. Chong,
that we have progressed, but
a bit breaking,
the line is a bit unstable. But it's fine now. It's fine now, Dr. Chong. It's fine now.
Okay, all right. So basically, what I'm trying to put forward is that teaching and learning is still very essential for academicians and teachers all over the world. Technology is just a tool to help us. Textbook is also a tool to help us, right? And e-books and all these are something that available to help us. And I'm using iPad, and somebody may be using desktop or laptop. These are just tools. But at the end of the day, as academicians, how do we use all these tools available to us to ensure teaching and learning and the outcome of that instruction that we want to give away is effectively transfer to the students, and they learn something. Yeah, that is beyond the actual theme that we have here today on this blended learning. Okay. So
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Chong.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You can continue.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much, Dr. Chong and Dr. Mabel. To all our viewers who are viewing us at home, you can drop your questions at the comment section below. Yeah, we'll get the speakers to answer y'all. And good morning to Miss Chloe and Mr. Hicham. They've sent in a good morning and a hello. Good morning, everyone. And Dr. Chong, I'd just like to squeeze in a small question to you. Would blended learning actually meet the clear objectives of learning for students?
Yeah, learning, there's as far as official learning is concerned, each academicians or lecturers or teachers have a syllabus to cover, and we have learning outcome, and we also, in the broad sense, we have program learning outcome, and also student attributes that we want to achieve as an institution. So all this is mindful at the back of the head of programs and even the lecturers. Now, all these tools that we have is just some instruments that help us to achieve all this learning outcome. And we have to make sure that we achieve it through a combination, a mix of all this that we have on hand. So I cannot be wishing a high-end laptop. iMac is impressive. I can buy a big technologies, invest a lot of money in the software, hardware, and it look impressive. But if it doesn't achieve whatever outcome or syllabus that I need to achieve, then it defeats the purpose. I would rather then go back to lesser high-end technology and achieve the outcome. As long as we achieve what we think is best for the student, as stipulated in the syllabus, that's very important.
Yeah, so many students actually just have a smartphone, or some may not even have a laptop, especially during this MCO when they are back home. So we also have to be mindful that some may not have all the equipment, high-end equipment or high-tech equipment, but but with our course networking and our Microsoft Teams, I think just a simple smartphone is actually quite sufficient for the day-to-day classes.
Yes,
right.
To all parents who are watching this, and even students, I've invited some of my students and their parents who had concerns about not being able to actually invest in a laptop as of now. So as mentioned by our Dr. Mabel, that a phone would be sufficient enough. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
A smartphone, not the Nokia type.
Smartphone.
A smartphone would be sufficient, everyone. And Dr. Chong, you may continue.
Yes, I think all this happen if I live long enough for 1,000 years. I believe all this happen like if previously we talk about pen and pencil, and paper. If people start creating pencil and paper, and some students and some parents can't afford to even buy a pencil and paper for their children. At that point of time, there must be a struggle between all these new things that is being invented, right? So if you take that phenomena and come back and apply here today, contemporary, when we started to ignore pencil, people start typing, and then certain quarters of people can't even afford to buy computers and all these, or even can only buy either smartphone or computer, choose one kind of thing. So I think it is as a society, as we progress, it will change. Now paper and pencil is like norm to us. You can get
Yeah.
paper, you can get pencil. Everybody is so happy. But if 1,000 years ago, when this is a commodity that is difficult to find and people struggle to purchase, that is the same case that is happening here. So I'm talking philosophical in this sense, but it applies at this moment of time. So if you look a little bit further in, I won't go through in details, but then if you look into the literature of blended learning, you have 7 models by this blended learning universe, and then we have teach taught, where it advocates 12 types of blended learnings, different types. There are lots for the academicians and teachers, lecturers to learn. So it is more for information. And even then, if we go a little bit further,
but I like the one that you have.
Yeah, which one?
Yeah, the one before that you had in your slide. I think the one that we are quite familiar with is the flipped classroom.
Yes, flipped classroom.
Flipped classroom. Yeah, because that's where the lecturers give the students work to do at home, and then they will do their preparation. And then when they actually come together in the class, whether it's face-to-face or the online class, that's where they do the Q&A and they ask the teachers. And there's a lot more discussion, which is very meaningful. So I actually like the flipped classroom model.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, that is one of the good models so that students really learn by themselves at home and then come to the class and we discuss about it. Again, then you come to the design, how a lecturer as an academician, so that is our job as a lecturers and academician. Right. So when the parents kind of like send their children to us, it's our responsibility to look at each cohort and each state of students. That's why entry requirement is so important, and we kind of group them together, and teachers and lecturers have to make sense of like, okay, this class this year, okay, with this learning outcome, what is the best design to address the learning outcome that I want to achieve. And at the end, we are mindful of the student attributes and the society expectations. So all these become a huge burden is as you look at teaching environment, okay? And if I push it a little bit more detail and why blended learning at this point of time, of course, with technologies, you see when we lecture in a group of classroom with maybe 100 students, whether should I go in depth or I should go a little bit easy or should I go midway? Say for example now, as we are going public on blended learning, should I approach it in a more detailed way, academic way, or more advanced, or should I go back? Let's start the blended learning a little bit easy. Now there are so many audience out there, and some audience who think that, oh my God, this is so easy. I already know that, can I skip it? Now, face-to-face, you can't skip me, by the way, you can't even fast track me. But blended learning, if I start to do a pre-recording of sessions, or during this session, if you want to skip me, you can stop and skip me and then come back later. And by record, you can come back and look at it if you miss something. So it can be customized to a certain extent. All right. So most of the lecturer, when we lecture in the classroom, we do average kind of lecturing, and then look at the students. Then that's why a lot of times we ask students to respond to us. The more you respond, the more we know where should we teach, what is the pace. And oftentimes when I am a student long time ago, I like to dominate the class to a certain extent. When you dominate the class, do you know what is an advantage? The lecturer will teach your pace, my pace.
Yes.
So don't tell our students to sit
So
there.
you're a bully, yeah?
I'm a class bully. Yeah. So if student lecturer go too fast, I'll stop the lecturer and ask questions. Then you go down, pace going down, and some students may say, "Hey, why you stop the lecturers I say, I don't understand. Why? We understand. But then you don't ask. Then you're supposed to then make the class go a little bit faster. Okay. Well, that is the dynamic of classroom. And well, this is not good, you see. Sometimes people like me dominating the class, either making the class go a little bit faster or going a bit slower to my advantage. Right? So as a lecturer with blended learning and technologies, I think now I think back, now I can allow students who learn a little bit faster to then go on their own pace.
Yeah,
and the best thing also here is anytime, anywhere they can learn. So if I recorded the message, and they can go back and have a look at it. Like a minute ago, maybe I have said something, and if this session is recorded, they can then go back and view, have a look, and they don't agree, they can come back to me and say, hey, Dr. Chong, I think this statement that you mentioned the other day, can you explain a little bit more, or I don't agree with you. Can we discuss about it? Yeah, that is blended learning, and it's good. And this never happened before in our teaching history. All right.
Yeah,
even with
true.
textbook, you can't. One thing about textbook is like blended learning is a lecturer wrote something in the textbook and he challenged the textbook. All right. Now you challenge the lecture because it is recorded. All right. So there should be a lot of interaction rather than flat.
Actually, I think it's true.
Yeah,
I think there's more interaction with online learning compared to face-to-face.
Face-to-face.
The feedback from some of our students is that during face-to-face classes, students are a bit shy and they don't really want to say anything or raise their hands. But then when it is in an online class, they are free to type in their questions. And I think there are 1 or 2 questions now on our Facebook Live as well.
Yes. We have a question from Mr. Ruhi. He asked that I would like to ask about the academic advising for students in this case. What you can do and how do you do it? Thank you, Mr. Ruhi.
From student perspective.
Dr. Chong, would you like to take Dr. Ruhi's question?
Yes, sure. From my perspective, I think interactions with students is very important. So what student can do is ask questions, and it's just, to me, I take it very normal as to like previously, if I ask students, okay, this is a journal article, print it out, or this is textbook, go back and read. So now my perspective is, okay, this is a YouTube and this is the pre-recorded material, go back and watch. Now, then the attitude of the student, when I say go back and watch and go back and read, do you go back and watch and go back and read? Now, then how do I motivate them to go back and read? Now, if the question from Dr. Rohi is coming from the student perspective, I think the motivation of study and how we interact together, and as a lecturer, what make them wanted to start studying? Now, as far as technology nowadays depends on students, we can create games. I can create quiz. And if I create quiz, some students think that I know already. This case, no problem. I don't want to study. I know already. Let's do some quiz and test whether you really know or not. If you think after the quiz and I demotivating you, of course, I'm not a good lecturer. Then if after the quiz, I motivate you to study, it's like, okay, I thought I know, but it seems like I don't know. Then you start studying. I think that will be a fantastic motivation to motivate students to like, okay, I don't know. I think the lecturer want to tell me something. Let's go and have a look. And this kind of things is what lecturers, I believe, should be doing instead of just one-way teaching. Like now, I'm giving a public lecture, like, okay, this is blended learning, that's what I know. And I don't know whether what you know or what you don't know. Let's do a quiz now. and you will start to, okay, it seems that I don't know. All right, I think
I'd like to add something here. Yeah. I think I like what you said. Yeah, Dr. Chong, when you said that we want to look at from the student's perspective. So I think Dr. Ruhi also was looking from the student's perspective.
Yes.
When we do blended learning or when we do online learning, we need to look at the student engagement as well. So in
Yes.
studies, we look at student engagement. There are actually three components on student engagement. One is the emotional side, what the student feels. One is the cognitive side, which is what the students think. And the other one is the behavioral side, what the students plan to do. So while we have a timetable and students know that from 8 to 10, we have biology 101. So we have to go in for the class, that's behavioral. So you go in for your class at 8 to 10. You make sure you wake up on time, you brush your teeth, you come into class. So that's behavioral. But then you must also remember that the students have feelings, emotional. So if they're really, they had all-nighter and they are not really very awake by 8 a.m. in the morning, so that's how their emotions may not be there. Their cognitive may not be there either, So, so we have to look at all this in terms of student engagement.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Mabel and Dr. Chong. And Mr. Ruhi, I hope we have answered your questions. To all viewers with us until now, please send in your questions in the comment section below, yeah? And we'll get the speakers to answer you. And please like and share our video to everyone that you know, and that would benefit everyone. Okay, Dr. Chong, I'll sneak, and Dr. Mabel, I'll sneak in one more question from on the behalf of parents that I've spoken to and students. Okay, I have a student who he's already registered with us, but he plans, he's not sure, or his parents not sure if they can actually cope up with the blended learning. What would you advise them?
Actually, what we're doing now is fully online during this MCO period. So it's not really blended as in both face-to-face as well as online, fully online. So we are actually doing fully online classes. So the question that you're asking from the parents' view is that they are worried that they can't cope with fully online classes, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So we are aware that some students may not have the Wi-Fi, the strong Wi-Fi at home, or some gadgets which may be able to help them. So our lecturers are also aware of that. So Dr. Chong has always reminded his team, his academic team, that watch out for these students, and these students can always send the lecturers a message by WhatsApp or send an email, and the lecturer can actually put into the email or the WhatsApp the slides and everything. So there is follow-up after the class.
Okay.
And Dr. Chong also mentioned that it's been pre-recorded, right? Some of the classes are pre-recorded.
Right.
Some recorded during their lecture, so that the student will not miss out. The only thing that they maybe miss out is the interactions during the lecture time. And of course, that can be mitigated by them coming back to the lecturers during consultation time to discuss with the lecturers what has transpired.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Chong and Dr. Mabel. To all parents and students, so don't worry. You can go on with your online learning. Yeah, we'll be here to actually assist you along the way. And okay, Dr. Chong, you may continue.
I think he's frozen.
Yeah,
a little bit. That is the thing about online learning. Sometimes we have a little bit of interruptions here and there. A little bit. I would say 90% of the time is okay.
Yeah.
Okay, moving a little bit forward here is this is what practicing and being practiced now. When we talk about blended learning, a lot of time is about the delivery methods. Yeah, how do we deliver our course material? Okay, this is one way of looking at things. All right, face to face, and then we have some e-side assignment and video streaming. Like now we are doing online streaming, and then they will come back to classroom or some virtual classroom and face-to-face. All this is a mixture of combinations and how a lecturer would like to design their course, right? Now, at the end of the day, all this again is just a fancy name or fancy tools that I have. I may have an iPad with a pencil, Apple Pencil. I write on it. You can see clearly. But then, at the end of the day, I am a lecturer. I need to make sure that my formative evaluation, a summative evaluation, how I assess the student and grade it and make sure the students learn is more important than whatever tools that I have and whatever tools the student have. So does tools give marks? I don't think you come to me with an iPad, I'll give you more marks and versus a person come with a smartphone. But at the end of the day, what need to be taught in the class and what need to be achieved is rather more important. So so there is no fixed way of how a lecturer should approach blended learning. It's a combination. And should a lecturer have every semester using the same way of teaching? No, it's a combination of each way, like what Dr. Weber mentioned. Students have emotion, they have cognitive knowledge, mindset, and then they also have this behavioral motivation to study. Each individual student is different, and each lecturers have to look at beside the entire group as a whole. We have to cater to a certain extent individual study. So for individual study, previously without technology, it seems that very taxing and difficult for our lecturers. If a lecture with 100 in a classroom, how going to teach it at one point, all right? But now with technology, I can put it my lecture in chunks, and I can put the advanced and medium, the basic one in different positioning, and a student can learn it on their own pace. But at the end of the day, you still have to achieve the standard that we have set. So it's based on your pace. So that technology is something that our lecturers and all academicians all over the world can use it to their advantage. It's not just the technology, use it to their advantage in classroom teaching.
Many of the lecturers share that when they are doing online teaching, actually it involves a lot more of their time, because they have to prepare the notes beforehand. They have to make sure that during the class there is engagement. They have to make sure that they are still there for the students 100%. After that, there is follow-up as well. They have to record all the attendance. They have to make sure that everything is in place. Maybe take screenshots of all the students who are in class. So actually there's a lot more that goes on with the lecturer, the staff point of view as well. So it has been a big, good learning curve here during this MCO period, where I'm quite sure we all know that it is because of COVID-19 that everybody's now so good with online technology. So it's not just students, it is also staff as well.
So there's a saying, there's a discussion on the cost of teaching may go down. Actually, the way I explained to all of you, it won't go down. In fact, it go up because there's a lot of things that if I want to do a lecture, a public lecture, of course it's go down. Then it's like, that's why it's a point of having a public lecture when there are different group of students out there. And how do we cater all this learning to your pace and achieve a standard? When you come to class and you already know what you know, then it's perhaps we have not achieved what is needed. As an academician, one of our key role every year is to look at our syllabus. If everybody score A in that particular subject, there are two things that I will always say: is the lecturer having a problem? Why everybody score A? Or my syllabus having a problem now? If my syllabus having a problem, meaning that my syllabus have achieved an outcome, this is that everybody already know, then I have to push the syllabus up where it will then meet more meaningful and meet expectation of employer. And that is where when this technology come about, when I push the syllabus up, and is more meaningful, then we have to make sure that those students who have a little bit of less advantage because of their background or because of the other things will learn throughout the process. And hence, the lecture have to be catered for each individual. How to do it previously when there's no technology is very difficult. With technology, it is possible, but it needs a lot of time for the lecturer to start planning the subjects. After planning, a while, the society move on, okay? And syllabus have to be revamped again. So every 2-3 years, our syllabus will be revamped. And that, again, contradict to what general public will say, oh, the cost is spread across and it's been reduced. That is just wrong to me as an academician. Is wrong way of looking at academic teaching and academic way of looking at how students should learn and show that we can progress. And we care so much of employability, but you know that the society move on every 2-3 years, and we have to catch up.
Dr. Chong has frozen again.
Normally, when we speak too much, and then the technology has froze me for a little. Okay, time to stop.
Actually, at UCSI, we have invested a lot in the Microsoft Office suite, the whole suite. And then we also have invested in course networking. And we have also increased our bandwidth by multiple folds. So all the investment that goes into aid online teaching and learning is there in place. Just wanted to add that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mabel.
Yeah,
I think
each one
there's
of our
another
lecturer having
question,
our own
is it?
desktop.
Yes, I was about to go. I was about to ask you all about the quiz. I think Dr. Ruhi read my mind. I have a question about the parents who are worried that their children, who don't have self-discipline. And if so, how should they monitor their kids or supervise? Do they need to take part in monitoring? And so that brings me to the question, to Dr. Ruhi's question. Like, do we have any role as a parent to play, or anything we have in order to help our children to, have the better outcome from the online learning or even blended learning?
I like to try that first. It really
Sure.
depends on how old your children are.
I just about to say that.
Because for me, my children are all big, so I don't need to take the rotan out, to get them to sit down in front of them.
I think Dr. Mabel has frozen now. The line is a bit unclear. Yeah, sorry for the technical issues, guys.
They're on their door as their classes are going. We can actually hear their Zoom conversation or their Microsoft Teams.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Thank you. Now we can. It was frozen at the start, so we only heard towards the back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So for children, it depends on their age. Like Dr. Chong's children might be younger. So he might have to sit next to them if they are learning.
Yes. Dr. Chong, would you like to add in?
For us, for a lower grade, say for example, pre-university and first year of diploma courses, most of our lecturers are aware of this, and they monitor them. And to a certain extent, if the parents are concerned, they can talk to our head of program, and they will actually update them. Depend again case to case basis. Our head of program always actually in communication with the parents sometime, and we also have counseling session for the students. Whenever the lecturers feel that the students are a little bit lost, not only on the cognitive side, it's more towards the behavioral side, and we have counselors that to help them to understand what is bothering them. That is very important. We don't want them to be lost. All of them enter this course with high motivation, inspiration, why they want to study, why they continue to study. and they already found their path. But sometimes due to a lot of emotional setting and behavioral, what Dr. Miller has mentioned, we have to come in as educationists to look at it and help them a little bit here and there, and to move on and to motivate them to keep moving on. So that hopefully can address what Dr. Rohi is saying, that how do we move on with this? For a more adult student, those who study PhD and master degree, there's another set of skill that lecturers need to be aware of. All right.
Yes, true, very true.
Yeah, those students are already at the mature stage. They have a different problem in
like
their
Roshini
life.
herself.
And
Yes, my classes are all online, whereas we need face-to-face because it's counseling. So we need to learn the techniques. So, but yeah, we are managing well. We have good lecturers. Like for me, I have my lecturers who, have live forum teaching. So yeah, that's how we are coping on my side as a master student.
Okay,
yeah,
that's good.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Milva and Dr. Chong, for answering that. Mr. Ruhi, I hope that we have actually answered your questions. Now, to those who are viewing us right now, please stay tuned until 11, yeah? And you can bring in any questions that you want to know about blended learning. We'll get the speakers to answer you. Please share our video with everyone. And okay, Dr. Chong, would you want to continue?
If I can continue. Moving forward over here, oops, I think I have to log off all these things, okay, because the screen bring forward all this. How do I get rid of this? Never mind. Okay, there we go. I have to log all this off because the screen will continue to reflect the writing. Now, if I go a little bit deeper into this area of blended learning and started to look at journal articles, I'm an academician, so academician refer to latest study, journal articles. Then we look at student characteristics and design features, how it makes blended learning more effective. So one of the conclusions from this study over here, you can see this, an examination of learner characteristics, so students' background and as well, design, features, and learning outcome as factors for effectiveness can help to inform the design of the effective learning environment that involve face-to-face sessions and online aspect. So basically, this article says that students' background and characteristics is very important, and then how we design the learning, blended learning to achieve a certain outcome. Also in line with what I mentioned and having in mind of all lecturers, we have to be mindful of students' background and learning capability, and then design a proper tools with technologies and how to blend it. Just now we talked about face-to-face and online learning. Should it be 50-50, 70, 80, 20, whatever percentage? It really depends on each different classes. I cannot be having a standard answer like, okay, you have to be 50-50. It doesn't apply. Now it's 100% online. So it's valid that some lecturer, some parents will say, hey, all online, how to cope. No, it's impossible sometimes to really say that one size fits all. And previously it's all face-to-face. So some lecturers, some students is dragging their feet to the classroom. It's like, oh, okay, 8 o'clock class, I have to wake up at 6:30. And now I have a feedback from students that, wow, I'm very happy. Now online class, 8 o'clock, I wake up at 7:45 and I still can come to class without my hair, wearing very nicely. And some very cheeky students say that they can't smell me anyway.
Yeah.
You see, that,
Dr. Chong is frozen again.
yes. But to put forward the knowledge, the knowledge that the student want to, the lecturer want to, the lecturer want the student to learn is the same. Is then delivered in a different method And now the students feel a little bit comfortable. Now, as the
Mhm.
lecturers and academicians in UCSI College, we have to then think of, hey, without face-to-face, will I achieve the learning outcome? Should they come back?
Yes.
Actually,
Okay.
I let me tell you, they need to come back one day. All right, they have to come back. This is because of exceptional situation. There's a lot of attribute that
Mhm.
in learning, especially teamwork, the emotional side, the value side of learning that have to be uh, what they call that, learned in the classroom setting. So if I can move a little bit further, the effectiveness. You see, that's a continuous study. This is only 2 slides, which is very academic. I can put up a lot of more academic slide, but then you see, I have an audience that I don't know where are they from. So as a lecturer, I have to be mindful of this. I'm going in the middle path now. You see, middle path, maybe a little bit advanced now, but then for those who think that it's too advanced, maybe you can put it a little bit moderate here, easy to understand. So the meta-analysis found that, okay, let me do this here. On average, students in online learning condition perform modestly better than those receiving face-to-face instruction. This is a study of a group of student, is a university student, and they found that is in fact online learning is more effective, okay, versus face-to-face. And blended learning appears to have a consistent positive effect in comparison with no intervention, and to be more effective than as, or at least as effective as the non-blended instruction for knowledge acquisition in health profession. This is studying the health profession. So basically, there's a lot of studies. And when we look at this journal article, basically it's an empirical study, not my feeling, your feeling, I think
Yes.
so. It is based on real study in the certain context, of course. If we want to go and talk about this course of study, of course, we have to go a little bit more in depth of then the challenges will be looking at the population, looking at the setting, looking at the environment, student background, all this. But I will not go in depth in this because this session is more towards to tell the public and the parents and also some of the viewer here, my reading until now is blended learning is the way to go. Online learning is very effective. There's so many studies have shown that, and even the industry. I got a few slides here. I'm just one of the few last slide that even the survey by practitioner. This is from BenQ. 76% of educators, all right, okay, believe that.
Please bear with us. Please bear with us, yeah,
Perform
guys.
better,
Yeah, the line.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, over 60% of students feel more comfortable. Yeah, more comfortable in classroom that are blended learning. So this is a US, study. They go to schools and started to find out that the blended learning is the way to go. Yeah. So blended learning definition is quite broad. Each school and each place has a different way of doing blended learning. So as we talk, actually, that even before COVID-19, as I mentioned earlier, at UCS College, it is already a blended learning approach, but maybe the percentage is 30%, I would say. All right. It is not like now it's very heavy on one side, fully online, 100%. It's not really blended learning. It's 100% online learning. So, and the actual study, empirical study, is the best way to go ahead is blended learning. So we are looking forward to welcome our students to come back to campus. Hopefully, when the
Soon.
COVID-19 is lifted, and then we have all the
The
safety
MCO.
measure. Yeah. Sorry, the MCO is lifted. Want to get rid of COVID-19 instead of MCO, isn't it?
Yes.
So all the safety measure, it's a new norm, as our government said. So 1 meter across table and all these have to be taken care of, reconfiguration of classroom, all this. But again, these are just hardware things that we are preparing. As an academician, I think besides the safety side, the reason why we ask them to come back to class, we have our objective and we know what we are doing. All right. If you ask me
Yes.
to go fully online, I would say no. No, it doesn't achieve what we planned for you and what is this program is all about. Right? And you
Yes.
ask me for full face-to-face. Well, full face-to-face, we already seen all the empirical evidence that it is not effective. It is not effective. Now, to a certain extent, what is the percentage of combination to be more effective? Now, I would say that it all depends on each classroom and characteristic and background of students. And then that is where the lecturers come in to design that particular program at that semester to the maximum benefit of the student. And that is where we come in to add value. And then at the end of the day, we achieve the outcome that we want to achieve. So that is from academic
Yes.
point of view, all right?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Chong, for your in-depth sharing about blended learning. To all our viewers who are with us until now, you may send in your questions in the comment section below. We'll get the speakers to answer you. And all right, we got 12 minutes to be precise. Now, Dr. Mabel and Dr. Chong, I have a few questions. Now, one question from the parent would be, what is the fastest way to adapt to online learning?
COVID-19.
Or blended learning? Yeah, okay. But okay, so
yeah, actually,
okay,
actually,
sure.
it's true. There's a slide. Actually, somebody is sharing over in the internet and WhatsApp that who actually transformed online learning.
Digital
Even
transformation.
yeah, not even the CEO, not even the CTO. It is COVID-19. We have been talking about it. Our CEO and CTO has been telling us online learning is the way to go. Nobody care. Nobody can like push. They try to push us, but it doesn't move. Even academicians is like, okay, it's important. Okay, I add in 10%, 20% over the years, 30%, But now suddenly it become 100%. But now we start to realize that yes, it's very important to have it blended, but not fully online. Not fully online. That's very, very certain because as an academician has been working for so many years, I know that fully online is not actually the only way to go. Right?
But I'm very glad that at UCSI College, just before the MCO started, we actually had Dr. Chong had a few training sessions or workshops for all the lecturers in preparation for if we had to go fully online. And we did that 1 or 2 days just before the MCO started. So with that kind of training, all the lecturers were then able to ease into the fully online session easily. Yeah, so that was really good. The timing was great. Yeah.
And we have another training on 30th April from Microsoft. It's a fantastic training. Actually, that lifts our expectation even higher. When the trainer share what is the full capacity of online training and lecturing. Actually, some lecturers like this morning, they start to ask me, where is the pre-recording session that I promised by the trainer? I want to have a look at it. Actually, I wake up this morning and there's already 3 or 4 WhatsApp messages to my phone. It's like, where is the pre-recording session? You see, the entire session of 2 hours training is overwhelmed with information. Now with technology, it's recorded and you can do a revision with technology. So that is fantastic, right? On the blended learning,
that's right.
Online teaching.
We just found out from those training sessions that Microsoft actually has got so many different tools that we can incorporate into our online teaching. So it's really nice to have the academicians, the lecturers get through that training, and now we will do even better.
Yes. It's a learning process, and the more we practice, the more we learn. Or else things will be just stay as knowledge only. It's not being
Yeah.
applied. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Mabel and Dr. Chong, for that insight. Just one more question. I have students who ask me about the exam and assessment. So now that we have online learning, because the MCO period is still there, and COVID as well, how is UCSI actually conducting the exam and assessments under the current situation, which is the online learning?
Wow.
We just
Okay.
finished our exams, right, Dr. Chong?
Yes,
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 yes.
Dr.
Yeah, so maybe Dr.
Uh,
Chong will be able to
yeah,
give us some
yeah,
insight.
yeah. It's not easy though. When COVID or MCO started, everybody go to online. This is first challenge. Along the way, our vision have to stop at assessment. Now, how are we going to assess the student? You know, it's a painful learning. It's a steep curve learning. No one wanted this session, but then we managed to overcome it over time. Of course, with the authorities and all the professional bodies validating all the procedures that we actually put in place. Okay, we do our conventional what call that exam, but in online form, and we do online invigilation, which is fantastic. And we get all colleges, all lecturers, and even admin staff to log in to invigilate our students, and we then we then upload all the questions into course networking, and then we reshuffle all the questions so that the students cannot cheat. You know, I have question one, you have question one as well, but my question one is different from your question one in the different rotation. And then we also reduce the time of examination so that reduce the cheating, the chances of cheating, so you if you try to communicate with Roshini, for example, Roshini, what is your question number one, right? But your question number one and my question number one is different. You can start to chat about your question one and my question one. I think after an hour, you both of us will end up only doing one question instead of the rest of the questions. So that itself mitigate a lot of issue. But then I'm glad that most of the students are very, very professional as well. They finish their questions, and that is one way. The other way is looking at assignment. So there's a lot of in-depth in setting examination question. If we want to do an assignment for as a final assessment, it have to be broad enough that the student will not cheat, all right, so-called. And then we use one of the program called Turnitin to ensure that there's no plagiarism, and students' work is of original and from them. So that is also one area that we look at. So we then guarantee that the assessment and the grading is fair to all students, so that the institution or the place that they go next time, when they look at the actual performance of the student during that period of time, it is fairly presented, and we then discharge our duty as an academician in the assessment and grading. Yeah. It is overwhelming, and people will tell me. I still remember in the early discussion of assessment, lecturer come in and say that, hey, then my student will got all A's, you know, if I give them assignment, and all of them will get A. How are we going to differentiate between a very hardworking student or those students who score in average? Can we differentiate that? Actually, that is not the entire purpose of the assessment, to grade student in a different way. All right. I mean, we do grade student, but then we have to be mindful of what we want to grade, and to avoid the academic plagiarism, and to avoid then they take a easy step of copying from each other. So that is the part that we have gone through. And I'm glad that the academician in the lecturer over here at UCSI College has been we suddenly become very matured overnight in terms of assessment and online assessment especially.
Yeah, I also like to add that let me assure you that we are in compliance with all with the government bodies as well as with the professional bodies that are affiliated to some of our programs. So we make sure that everything is in compliance, then only we run the exams fully online.
Yeah, a lot of emails,
So we are all actually working very hard on the background to ensure that there is the highest level of integrity with the exams.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Sean, Dr. Mabel. I hope parents and students who are joining in us who had all these questions and doubts about online learning. I hope this really helped you all. Okay, we have 3 more minutes. I'm just, it is another question to Dr. Mabel and Dr. Chong. But before that, to all viewers, we still have at least 3 minutes. You can actually share this video and you can ask us any questions in the comment section. Yeah, we'll get the speakers to answer you. So Dr. Chong and Dr. Mabel, now I'm aware that if students actually can't catch up with the online classes, they can actually watch the the recorded session.
Oh, Roshini is frozen now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm frozen. Okay, is it okay now?
Yeah. Can you repeat your question?
Okay. All right, sure. So, okay, we have a question from the Facebook comment. I think I'll get that in first. All right, from Mr. Tan Ka Wei, just asking how to make sure online presentations are as effective as physical presentations. And he said that he feels as if my potential and expressions are limited in front of a webcam because I can't make full use of my body language and something like that. Both presenters and viewers are limited to webcams and slides. Fewer body language available to make an impression to the others. Also, what type of online assignment should we expect for the OBU program? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tan. Maybe Dr. Chong would like to take this question.
Wow, you touched about OBU, but I'll explain later. That's why I don't agree with full online classes. Yeah, full online classes is just because now it's under MCO. We have to do that. What you mentioned, Mr. Tan mentions correct. How about the emotion side? I cannot see my viewer. I can only see limited of them. We have to adapt into this situation, but that is not the perfect situation, right? Blended learning is not about full online learning. Okay, so the student have to eventually come back to class. We have to talk lecture in front of them or doing tutorial in front of them. You see, if I am in the classroom setting, I can see whether some of the students are able to is interested in the subject or not interested. How do I motivate them? So in an online setting, now I cannot see Dr. Mabel. I don't know whether he is with me or not, or Roshini, when the screen swap. So that's so difficult. Now, his question also asks us, in this situation, say an online setting, forget about the face-to-face, how to then get the emotion and things a little bit in depth. Perhaps we can do a quiz in between now and start to ask students to start chatting. That is the maximum that I can think of to engage students in online lecturing, rather than I keep on talking like now. I'm giving a public lecture kind of, but I have to interact with students. I have to ask students, hey, can you talk to me, open up the session? Actually, that is happening in our face-to-face classroom as well. Some of the lecturers coming and say, hey, my students are not responding. You see, when students are not responding, it's very difficult for us as a lecturer to engage with them. So it's always very open, very important. That's why during the time then the students coming to our college, we have to make sure that they start to speak out, interact. If not, then you'll be very down. Not only online, even in a situation of physical face-to-face. Then you touch a little bit of OBU. Also, I prepare a slide over here. Now,
Mhm.
situation in UK and US is, you know that COVID-19 is rampant over there.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
worrying, and some students are coming to ask us, can we, how do I go to UK and US? Basically, at UCSI College, you can come and study a UK degree here. Then thinking of transfer later on, that is possible. So because Mr. Tan touched a little bit of OBU just now, learning.
Yes. Yes.
What
Yeah.
is the actual question that he mentioned about OBU?
What types of
He's
online assignments should we expect for OBU programs?
programs.
Okay.
Mm.
The assignment is aligned to learning outcome. So we have to set the assignment at a standard that is expected from our syllabus. Now, the next part is actually the mechanism or the platform that we then send it to the student. So platform is just a tool. So I can set it in electronic form, I can set it in the paper form, or can set it in the course networking form, but the gist of the question is still remain. Yeah. So so there is no question about how do I as a lecturer set the question. It's more towards what platform I want to use to then deliver it to you. Then the students, how do they deliver the answer back to me? Okay, now the lecturer have to think a little bit further, because then, okay, you're going to send it electronic form to me, you can copy from each other. So how do I avoid the copying plagiarism? That's why we put Internet in, then we control the time, whether should I give you a longer time, shorter time. So all this is just mechanism, tools, but rest assured that we as lecturers will know what is the actual learning outcome that we want to achieve, and using the tools to our advantage to make sure that we keep the standard to the maximum. Yeah, I hope that address.
I like to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mabel.
so
Dr. Mabel,
I'd like to add, for Kawe, who asked a very good question. We really look forward to all our students coming back on campus when the ministry allows us to do so. So we would like to see you in our program, in our OBU program very soon. Yeah, so good to see that you have mentioned the OBU program, and we are really very excited with the start of the Oxford Books program, the 3+0 that we are kickstarting this May itself.
Yes, yes, indeed. Kawi, if you have any further questions about OBU, you may log on into our website, www.ucsicollege.edu.my, or you may actually WhatsApp 0113-530-8837, and we will guide you through the program. And thank you, Kawi. I hope we have actually answered your question. And Dr. Mabel or Dr. Chong, you have anything to add in before we end the forum for today?
Well, our orientation is going to happen on the 5th of May. First time we do e-orientation. Yes, tomorrow. So if our new students are watching, please, you know that we have already sent you an email that you can log into our Microsoft team, and we have a pre-recorded sessions that you can go through, and then we're going to have a live session together with all of you, and the HOP, the head of program, will lead you through during the orientation time, and this we look forward meeting all of them.
It's our first e-orientation.
Yes.
And the way I still look at the teams put it up together is a fantastic effort, and doing recording is so as important as the rest of the paperwork as well. Now we record it and we put it up there so that the students can view some of the instruction earlier.
Well, with the conditional NCO now starting today.
Okay. Dr. Mabel has frozen now. Please bear with us, guys.
I think everybody is working today.
And the code is the easing. Hello.
Hello. Yes, Dr. Mabel. Now it's okay now.
Yeah. May the force be with us then.
All right. Okay. With that note, I'd like to thank Dr. Mabel and Dr. Chong for helping not only parents, I think students who are really, really worried about online learning and also blended learning. So I hope we have actually answered all of your questions. Now, any further questions or concern or any course inquiry, you may log on to www.ucsicollege.edu.my, or you may WhatsApp us at 0113-530-8837. Please tune in tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're going to talk about mass comm. So all mass comm students or parents, if you have any children or nieces or anyone who is interested in mass comm, please tune in tomorrow. We will be talking everything about mass comm. And with that, I would hope that y'all will like our page and share our page and this video as well to everyone who can benefit from it. And thank you everyone for tuning in today. Thank you, Dr. Mabel and Dr. Chong once again.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks, Roshini.
Thanks,
Sure,
Roshini.
no problem. And everyone, please have a good day, and I'll see you all tomorrow. I'm Roshini, your live forum host, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.